everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Bree, and fun fact about me is that my ultimate favorite Disney ride is Thunder Mountain, especially at night when they have the fireworks going off. It's just so magical, and I really love that ride. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite Disneyland or Disney World ride. Disney World I've only been twice, so I couldn't tell you what my favorite is, but if I had to think off the top of my head, maybe Mine Train, because Mine Train was pretty cool. But today's video is going to be another installment in my Makeup Stash or Trash Decluttering series. So without further ado, let's hop into the video. So this one I'm gonna do very similar to the last video that I posted. And the reason being is because I've noticed that by testing out products for more than a week, I'm really able to give my thoughts and opinions of a product versus using it for 1 week. Especially since I work, and sometimes if I'm a mermaid, I don't get to use those products that I have been testing out because I have to use the products that they have at work or that they give me at work. So I'm gonna be testing out these products for 2 weeks, and then I can give you my final verdict on the items. Also, within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be transitioning out of Makeup Stash or Trash, and I'm gonna be decluttering my makeup so you guys can see how I store my makeup right now, what makeup I have, and we'll just break it down so you guys can see each and every little individual item that I have. As I always let you guys know, I'm gonna put timestamps in the description box. If you just wanna watch the review of the items that I've used over the past 2 weeks, you can watch that. If you wanna watch the preview of the items I will be using for the next 2 weeks, you can go ahead and do that as well. So let's hop into the review. So like I did last week, I only mentioned the products that I either loved or I hated or I ended up using all the products. So I figured I will do the exact same thing this week just to cut time. So we're gonna start off with the products that I have used up. The first one was the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. This was gifted to me by my friend Rosa. I think she only had a little bit left anyway, so I used this bad boy up and I purchased a deluxe size of this because I really do enjoy this product. The other item that I finished, or at least I'm gonna tell myself that I finished because I hate this product, is the Allure Brow Control and Shape Gel Long Lasting Fixer Gel. I feel like this is supposed to be comparable to the Anastasia Brow Gel, but it doesn't. You barely get anything out of this. It doesn't really hold as much as I would like it to, and so I'm just glad to just get rid of this. And then the final item that I finished up is the Mara Badescu Facial Spray with Aloe, Herbs, and Rose Water. I have barely any drops yet, and actually let me just spray my face right now with the rest of it. Yeah, now it's just kind of spritzing out and making big droplets on my face versus a fine mist. So I'm done with this. I'm gonna toss it, but I'm glad that I have a backup of this because this is my favorite setting spray. Now we're gonna talk about the products that I wasn't a big fan of or that I'm on the fence about. So the first item that I'm not a fan of is this lip gloss by ColourPop. This is the Sheer Lip Gloss in Fairy Floss. It's a really nice shade, but it's just not for my skin tone. It's very light. As you can see right there, it's super light, and I'm just not a fan of this clear gloss. I've noticed that I only used it once, and it just brought out the yellow in my teeth, so I'm gonna try to sell this. I'm just not a fan of that, so I'm gonna get rid of that. The other item I wasn't a big fan, I know you guys loved it, but I feel if I'm gonna wear really dark lips, I don't want a glossy lip, I want a matte lip. So I wasn't a big fan of this lip gloss. This is the Anastasia lip gloss in Potion. It is a beautiful color, as I will show you. Very opaque, but it's just glossy, and I am not a big fan of gloss. I want this though in a lipstick, not a liquid lipstick, just a regular lipstick. It's super vampy, super beautiful, but the reason why I don't like lip glosses is because they are super messy. They bleed everywhere. It's just, I'm not a fan of it, so I'm gonna get rid of that one as well. The other thing I wasn't a fan of was the Anastasia Brow Wiz. Now the reason why I'm not a fan of this one is because this is not my right shade. This is the shade Medium Brown, and I actually use Medium Brown for the Dip Brow pomade, but for some reason this is just a little too cool tone for my brows, and just it doesn't give them life and dimension, and so I've been using the chocolate shade, and I really love that shade. So I'm going to return this and get chocolate Anastasia Brow Wiz. And then the final thing that I was on the fence about was this Lorac Unzipped Palette. The reason why I'm on the fence, and probably the reason why I'm going to be returning this, is because I only love 3 shades, and I don't see the point in keeping this if I'm only going to be using 3 shades. Now the 3 shades that I love and adore, and one of the reasons why I was on a fence because I really want to keep it because of these 3 shades, are Unconditional, Unbridled, and Unreal. Those 3 shades are beautiful, and I do love Unspoken as well, but I don't see the point in keeping a palette if I'm only going to be using those shades. So what I'm planning on doing is holding on to this, taking it to Sephora, and seeing if I can find Anastasia singles in those 3 shades. If I can, then I will make a palette of 4 shades, create a palette that I know that I can use all the time that is very similar. That way I can just take this back and know that I'm going to use that palette versus only using 4 shades. I just don't think it's realistic to keep a palette if you're only going to be using 4 eyeshadows. Now that we talked about the products that I wasn't a fan of, let's talk about the products that I loved this week. So I have a handful of items that I do enjoy. The first 2 are these 2 blushes by Tarte. These are the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour blushes. These are beautiful. They blend in beautifully. They're super pigmented. The only thing I'm not a fan of, which my friend Liz mentioned, so I kind of went in knowing this would happen, but the pan is very loose, so I don't know if you can see this or not. Maybe if I go a little closer, you guys can see that it moves around. So I'm not a big fan of that, but the shades themselves are gorgeous. I feel like these are gonna be my go-to blushes, especially Sensual. Sensual I've been wearing every single day. It's just a beautiful natural blush. I feel like it looks like you're barely even wearing anything on your face, which I love because it's so nude and neutral, and that's something that I've been wanting for the summer. Just so if I wanna wear bronzer and a little bit of blush, it's not super pink, not super coral, not super orange. It's just a very neutral shade, and I love it. The other blush that I have is the shade Risque, which has a little bit more of a pinker undertone than Sensual does. And I just love these blushes. I'm so glad I have both of these in my collection, and yeah, I'm not getting rid of these anytime soon. The highlight that I've been enjoying is the Ofra Rodeo Drive Highlighter. This is a beautiful, beautiful golden highlight. It's what I'm wearing on my cheekbones today. It just gives you such a radiant glow. You can either apply it just dry, or you can even use some Fix Plus or some sort of setting spray and really make it look super glossy. That's the shade right there. One swipe, it's super pigmented, so I do have to blend it out. If you do have any texture on your cheekbones, I will say this will show up. So if you're not a fan of that, don't purchase this. I know they're now carrying this at Ulta, so if you want to try out their items, you can at Ulta. It is a beautiful, beautiful shade though. I'm really enjoying this. So yeah, I'm glad that I have that in my collection. The other item that I just recently mentioned was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in Chocolate. I love this shade. I've been using this with the pomade, and I feel like I finally figured out my perfect brows. Josh loves my brows. Josh talks about my brows every single day because I feel like my brows, we go 50-50. Some days are great, some days not so much. And I use this in my brows, and I feel like it just gives a little bit more dimension, a little bit more precision, and I really do enjoy this. If you guys know a cheaper alternative to the Anastasia Brow Wiz and you like that more than this, let me know in the comments, especially if it's cruelty free. I will gladly try it out. And then the final thing that I've been loving is this IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Airbrush Finishing Perfecting Powder Sheer to Full Coverage Finishing Veil, and I'm in the shade Light. I love this. This is the perfect shade for me. I wear this by itself. I wear this on top of foundation. It just gives me this airbrush look. It keeps my makeup lasting all day long. I just love this. I feel like I love this more than the CC Cream. So if I had to pick between the two, I would gladly purchase this one again because it just looks beautiful on my skin. Now that we talked about the products that I used last week, let's talk about the products I will be using for the next 2 weeks. Now, I did turn on the fan. It's just too hot in here to not have the fan on. So if you hear that in the background, I do apologize. So I'm gonna be showing you the products that I will be using the next couple of weeks. The reason why I'm doing 2 weeks is because I have a lot of lip products that I will be testing out. Basically, the next 2 weeks, it's gonna be the battle of the red lipsticks. I'm trying to narrow down my lipstick collection to my ultimate favorite lip products, as I feel like I have a huge array of lipsticks and I barely even touch them. And so I'd rather narrow it down to my ultimate favorites. That way I just know that I can use those without any issues, and yeah, we'll just figure out my holy grail items. For primer, I'm gonna be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. For foundation, I love this foundation. I don't think I've talked about this yet, but this is the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. I'm in the shade 2.1. It's the perfect shade for me. It lasts all day, super hydrating, and it's just a great, great foundation. So I will be using this on a regular basis. Then to set that, or to just wear alone, I will be using the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Airbrush Perfecting Powder. I love this. This is great, especially for dry skin girls. This is a great, great powder. To set my face, I will be using the Mario Badescu Skincare Facial Spray with Aloe, Cucumber, and Green Tea. I've been using this one, and actually I like this one more than the Rose less water. I just feel like since I do have very dry, dull, tired skin, this just does wonders for my skin. For concealer, I will be using the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Custard. I will be using this for my under eyes and any blemishes or underneath my nose. And then for those blemishes that I need great spot treatment, I'm going to be using the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Concealer, and I'm in the shade Light Medium Beige. This is a full coverage concealer, so is this one, but I like this one a little bit more because it has that Amazonian clay. It stays on longer than this one does, so I like to use this for any spot treatment or discoloration. Set my under eyes, I will be using the Laura Mercier Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent. For brows, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown, and I will also be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in Chocolate. To fill them in a little bit, I will be using the Pixie by Petra Brow Powder Palette. It's the Shades of Brow palette, and I use these 3 shades to fill in my brows. And then to set my brows, I will be using the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. I'm going to be using this Marc Jacobs Coconut Bronzer. This is the Omega Bronze Coconut Perfect Tan. Oh my gosh, guys, this is beautiful. I have been testing it out for the past week and I love it. It's the perfect shade. If you are on the fence and you want something that is not too cool tone, not too warm, is very, very neutral, but it is going to give a little bit of life to you, I would highly recommend this. For blush, I'm only using one blush this week. This is the Makeup Revolution Matte Blush Powder in the shade Nude. I love this blush. It is so beautiful, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I do use Sensual by Tarte because I do love that one as well. And then for highlight, I'm just gonna be using one highlight. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. It is their highlight in Be My Highlight. It is a baked formulation, super pretty, as you can see right there, and it just gives you a very nice natural highlight. Now we're gonna move on to eye products. The first thing I'm gonna use is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer. I love this. I'm gonna be using these 3 Marc Jacob Highliner liners. You guys know that I love these liners. I have Irony, I have Earthquake, and then I have Black Horse. So yeah, love all 3 of those. For liquid liner, I'll be using the Kat Von D Tattoo Liquid Liner in Trooper. And then for mascara, I will be using the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. I'm almost done with this. I did purchase a backup, and then I'll be using up the Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. For eyeshadow palettes, I'm using 2 this week. And the reason being is because I have a feeling these are major dupes for each other. So the first one is the Lorac Pro palette. This is a beautiful palette. This used to be my holy grail palette. I haven't picked it up in a really long time, but as you can see, I've hit major pan on a lot of these shades. You can definitely tell which ones are my favorites. So I thought I would play with this, and the reason why I want to play with this one is because I want to play with these Morphe single shadows. I created this palette, oh gosh, I want to say maybe like 2 years ago, back when Morphe just started and Jaclyn Hill just barely started talking about Morphe. I went straight to LA and picked up these shades, and they are beautiful, beautiful eyeshadows. I'm missing one right here, but as you can see, they're super, super pretty. All of these are Morphe shades, and I mean, they are super pigmented. I love these shingle shadows way more than I like the ones in the pan. I feel it's very, very low quality. Where I feel is these are very comparable to high-end eyeshadows, so I want to play with this because if you put the 2 side by side, don't they look very, very similar? I mean, we've got very, very similar shades in there, so I want to play with these. The reason why I want to do that is because if I can find some dupes for you guys and they're only $2, I would recommend getting the Morphe shadows versus getting a full palette. You know, I've noticed that I'm only dipping into certain shades, so rather than buying a $42 palette and only using 4 shades, why not only spend $8 on shades that are very similar? Does that make sense? So yeah, I'm gonna be playing with these for the next 2 weeks, and if I find any dupes, I will definitely let you know. And now for the lips. So I have 4 lip liners I will be using. These are all from different makeup brands. The first one is the Makeup Forever Aqua Lip in the shade 9C. It's a beautiful, beautiful lip liner. I love this shade. I do want to find a dupe for this in a cruelty-free line. The next one we have is the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in Alabama. Oh, I love this one. This is the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani Rock Steady Lip Liner. Is that right there? I think on camera they're all gonna look very, very similar, but when you look at them in person, there's a little bit of a difference. And then the final one I'll be using is the Essence Lip Liner in Red Blush. So there were 2 that I was gonna add into this, but actually I'm just gonna be tossing them and decluttering them, and they're the Jouer liquid lipsticks. I've realized I don't like the formula. I put one on before this and it cracked and it was disgusting, so I'm letting both of those go. So they're not gonna be in here, but I thought I'd let you know, if you're not a fan of drying formulations, do not get the Jouer liquid lipsticks. especially in the darker shades. I'm just not a big fan of them. So the first one is the LOC by Tati Vibrant Matte Lipstick, and this is in the shade Wildest Dreams. Super, super creamy. So that is a very pretty color. I'm really excited to test that one out. And then I have the ColourPop Lippy Stick in the shade Chateau. This is a matte X formula, and it's that gorgeous, gorgeous vampy shade. So I'm excited to play with that one. For lipsticks, I have 4 lipsticks. So the first one is the Marc Jacobs Lip Cream in So Rouge. And I do like that I have these little bitty babies because I don't think I'm gonna use up any of these shades anytime soon. That is the shade right there. Very, very pretty. And then I will be using the Lorac Lipstick in Receive. I've had this forever. I mean, it hasn't gone bad yet, but I should get rid of it. But I just love this shade. That's the shade right there. It's super pretty. And then I have this one that my friend Sheridan gave to me the last time that she was here. We did a makeup tutorial together. I'll put that up above. But this is just a Sephora lipstick, and this is in the shade R49. Now, Sephora is not cruelty-free, but it's what I'm wearing on my lips right now, and it is beautiful. So that is the shade right there, and like I said, it's what I'm wearing on my lips right now. And then the final lipstick I will be testing out is the Bite Beauty Bite for VIB Rouge, and it's another red shade, obviously. So that's the shade right there. As you can see, some of them are more cool tones, some of them are definitely warmer tones, some have a blue base, some of them have a pink base, and some of them have an orange base. So I thought I would test out all of those and see which ones are my favorite and then get rid of the other ones. And then the final 2 reds are liquid lipsticks. So the first one is the Tarte Tartiste Lip Paint, and this one is in the shade Bay. If you watched, I think it was last week's Makeup Stash or Trash, I was on the fence. So now we're gonna figure out if I love it or not. And I wanna see, like I said, if I have a dupe. So that is the shade right there. And then the other one that I'm gonna be using is the Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip Color, and this one is in the shade Passion. I love these Ultra HD lip colors. They're super creamy. They fade away into a beautiful, beautiful tint. Oh, and I love the smell. It smells like candy. But that is the shade right there. So those are gonna be all of the lip products I will be using this week. But yeah, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and definitely go ahead and click that notification button. That way YouTube will alert you every single time that I post a video. And I believe this week I will be posting up to 4 times, maybe 5. We shall see. But with that being said, I hope you have an amazing week. Stay blessed, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.